Hello students, in this video we are going to cover the basic accounting concepts which is also known as basic accounting principles. As you can see on the screen that there are 11 basic accounting principles which we have to cover in our syllabus. Those are business entity principle, money measurement principle, objectivity principle, accounting period principle, cost principle, dual aspect principle, revenue recognition principle, matching principle, full disclosure principle, conservatism principle, and materiality principle. We'll discuss it one by one, but in this video, we'll only cover the 5 accounting principles. We start from the very first principle, that is business entity concept, or which is also known as business entity principle. According to this principle, business entity assumes that business has a distinct and separate entity from its owners. Okay, basically when accounting is done, it is done from the viewpoint of the business and not from the viewpoint of the owner. So all the business transactions are recorded from the viewpoint of the business and not from the owners. This is due to the when the owner withdraw any money from the business for his personal expenses, which is also known as drawing, it is treated as a reduction of the owner's capital and consequently a reduction in the liabilities of the business. Right. Then the second accounting principle is the money measurement concept, which is also known as money measurement principle. According to this principle, only those transactions and events are recorded in the books which are capable of being expressed in terms of money. Suppose if a business enterprise has 70,000 rupees cash, 2 buildings, 4 machines, these assets cannot be added and shown in the financial statement unless they are valued in the terms of money. Right? So, another important aspect of the concept of money measurement is that records of the transactions are to be kept not in the physical unit but in the monetary unit. This is the mandatory requisite of accounting, right? And this concept also suffers limitations. The very first limitation is that qualitative transactions are not recorded. Irrespective of their importance, qualitative transactions are not recorded. This point has to be taken into consideration. And the other thing is that money is considered to have a static value as transactions are recorded at a time of transaction or at the time of transaction date. But in real, what happens that the value of money does not remain same over the period of time. Why? Due to the change in the price level. So this is the another principle of accounting. Then the third principle of accounting, which is very important, that is accounting period principle. According to this principle, the economic life of an enterprise is split into periodic intervals, right? And those periodic intervals are known as accounting period. So, the performance of the business enterprise is measured at regular interval or at the regular period, and that period is known as the accounting period concept, right? In this accounting principle, the account of an enterprise is maintained following the going concern concept we know, which says that the business is intended to continue for the indefinite period of time. It means that the true result of the business operations can be ascertained only when the business is completely wound up, right? So, as per the Company Act and the Income Tax Act require that income statements should be prepared annually. Basically, the accounting year we consider is from the 1st April to 31st March. So, the accounting statements or financial statements should be prepared for that period, which is annually. However, in case of a certain situation, there are interim financial statements are also there, or we need to prepare the interim financial statement. Basically, interim financial statements means the financial statement which is prepared between the two financial dates, right? Between the two financial year, if we prepare any financial statement to ascertain the profit or loss, that is known as interim financial statement. Then we have fourth accounting concept, that is cost concept, and that is very important. According to this principle, it is said that an asset. We people know what is the asset. Assets are the resources which have some economic value in the business. The accounting concept requires that all the assets, all the economic resources are recorded in the book of account at their purchase price. And purchase price include cost of acquisition, the cost at which we have acquired that asset, transportation, carriage inward, installation charges, and the making the asset ready to use. So all these charges, all these expenses are included in the purchase price of the asset, and then the asset has to be recorded at that price. This is cost concept. The concept of cost is historical in nature. Historical in nature means it is something which has been already paid at the time of acquisition. And one more thing is that it does not change year after year. Another limitation is also there in historical cost basis, that it does not show the true worth of the business because the value of the asset keeps on changing, but we show it on the historical cost. So this is the limitation of the cost concept as well. Then the other principle we are going to discuss is the dual aspect concept or dual aspect principle, which is very important, and the whole accounting is based on this principle. According to this principle, it is said that every business has two aspects. One is the debit, another is the credit. On the basis of this aspect, we had already learned how to prepare the accounting concept, right? Sorry, accounting equation. We have to prepare the accounting equation on the basis of the dual aspect concept, because every transaction will have twofold effect, and the effect of the every transaction has to be recorded at the two places. So when we study the accounting equation, that is assets is equal to liabilities plus capital, this is solely based on the dual aspect concept, right? In other words, we can say that for every debit, there is a credit of equal amount in one or more accounts, and vice versa. The system of recording the transaction on this principle is termed as dual entry system. Thank you.